In every shadow, a story waits to be told. Welcome to Dark Eerie Chronicles, where your nightmares become our stories. When I boarded the Natco bus out of Hunza, I remember telling myself that it was over. That whatever happened up on that ridge, hallucination, altitude, fear, maybe even some kind of local psychosis, it stayed there. That's what I wanted to believe. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Back in Islamabad, I spent a couple of days trying to shake it off. I avoided talking about it, avoided looking at the photos on my phone. When I finally opened the folder, only 3 pictures had saved from the trek. The rest were just blank gray thumbnails with file names like IMG_0000 or completely corrupted, glitchy neon streaks. But the photo of the ruined house was still there. And in the bottom left corner, partially behind a rock, was something I hadn't noticed before. A bare footprint. Small. Pale. Like someone had been standing there, just out of sight, watching me. I flew back to the UK a few days later. It was already October when I landed. Cold and damp. I live in Sheffield. Quiet. Working class. Typical English town. My flat's on the top floor of a converted Victorian terrace. Not fancy, but comfortable. After the noise and color of Pakistan, it felt gray, dull, safe. At least, it did. For a while, things were fine. I got back into routine, work, gym, sleep. The first time something weird happened was about 2 weeks in. I woke up around 3:12 a.m. to the sound of whispering. Not loud, not threatening, just steady, like someone talking softly right outside my window. My first thought was kids, maybe someone messing around in the alleyway. I pulled the curtains, no one there, just mist and the yellow streetlight. I went back to bed, told myself it was a dream, but it kept happening. Not every night. That would have been easier to explain. Just random. Once every few days. Always around 3:10 to 3:15. Always whispering. Sometimes it sounded like a woman. Sometimes like more than one voice at once. I tried recording it on my phone, but nothing ever came through. Just static. One night I had this dream, at least I think it was a dream, where I woke up and couldn't move. Sleep paralysis. I've had it before, but this time, it felt different. There was this pressure on my chest, like something heavy was crouched over me. And I saw her, the same girl from the ridge. Wet hair, white eyes. Her mouth didn't move, but I could hear her whispering inside my head. And this time I understood her. She said, "You saw me, so now you belong." I snapped out of it. Drenched in sweat. My sheets were twisted like I'd been fighting something in my sleep. I didn't sleep at all the next night. Things got worse. Objects started moving. Little things. My keys wouldn't be where I left them. The TV would turn on in the middle of the night. Always static. I unplugged it and it still turned on once. A week later, I came home and found wet footprints on the hallway floor. Small. Bare. Leading from the window toward the hallway mirror. The glass was fogged up like someone had breathed on it. In the center was a handprint. I started losing time. I'd look at the clock and swear it jumped ahead an hour. I'd black out during Zoom calls at work and wake up with blood on my sleeve and no idea where it came from. I started keeping a journal. Dates, symptoms, times. But the next day, pages would be missing. Ripped out. I contacted a local paranormal group. I was desperate. They sent a guy named Daniel, ex-military, now a self-proclaimed spiritual clearance specialist. I didn't even care how fake it sounded. Daniel came in, walked around my flat with some kind of old copper pendulum, muttering under his breath. He stopped at the hallway mirror and just stared at it for a long time. Then he turned to me and said something I'll never forget. "She's not haunting the flat," he said. "She's haunting you." When I told him about the trek, his face went pale. "She marked you," he said. "That's why she showed herself. That's why she let you leave. She wants you to bring her out, to places, to people." I laughed. I couldn't help it. It sounded insane, like something out of a horror movie. Then he pulled out a folded piece of paper and slid it across the table. It was a printout of an article from 1993, a missing persons report. Foreign backpacker disappears in Gilgit-Baltistan, last seen attempting a forbidden trail near Hunza. No body found. Friends reported erratic behavior and whispers in the days before he vanished. Daniel tapped the date. 30 years ago. Same story. Different person. Same girl. I asked him what I was supposed to do. He said, "You need to go back. Take her back." I didn't. Not yet. There were times when I thought it was getting better. The whispers came less often. But when they did, they were louder. They were closer. And then I started whispering back. Not on purpose, but I would wake up in the middle of the night and I realized my mouth was moving, saying words I don't recognize. And then once, when I looked in the hallway mirror, I saw her behind me. Not a reflection, just her. I can't even explain what went through my mind and body in that moment, but it eventually pushed me to take that godforsaken trip back to the whispering path.
You've been listening to Dark Eerie Chronicles. I'll see you in the next nightmare. Until then, keep your lights on.